Hey guys, I am Shreyans Jamar from UniVag and I am here today to talk about video-based assessment. So video-based assessment is the alternative that we had for interview and VAT round during 2020, which we ourselves gave and we have experienced it. And there's a possibility that it might come this year. So we are here to help you guys out with how to attempt it, giving our experience based, giving our tips and tricks and sharing our experience, how I had it so that you can attempt it better so that it is easier for you to attempt and to ensure that you ace it. So first thing, what is VBA? So video based assessment is simply an alternative that was brought in because of the pandemic. They couldn't conduct the interview, so they had to conduct video based assessment or remote interviews kind of sort for the personal assessment process. In this, the students are expected to record a video of themselves answering to a specific set of questions that are given by them. It examines the students on the basis of their soft skills. So now, what are soft skills? Soft skills are skills such as presenting yourself, speaking. Those skills are called soft skills, and they try to analyze your soft skills in this assessment. Specifically, your soft skills are a big point that they test in this VBA. So now there's some things to keep in mind. So having given the VBA ourselves, we know how the experience is, what thing you should avoid. The first one is specifically a mistake that I myself did, and I believe that if I didn't have, I could have done much better in my VBA. So the first thing is that don't mug up the answers. Mugging up the answers shows that it's just a machine or something playing a voice recording. It feels like that, and that's not what you want to do in a video. You need to connect with the person who is watching your video. You need to connect with that person via the video. So rather than mugging up the answers, having the pointers or keywords and turning them into sentences on the spot gives a personal feel to it, and that helps a lot in connection. Secondly, using hand signs. Now, hand signs are a very crucial part in videos. Whenever you represent yourself, whenever you speak, using hand signs helps you to better communicate, helps you to better talk to the person, better connect to the person, and that has a huge impact on how he perceives it. So now there are some basic tips that you need to keep in mind when you're shooting your video. So first of all, you need to have a proper camera. A proper camera, I mean, is a proper camera like a camera setup or a phone with a good quality camera, which has a good quality video and it should be stable. Don't keep your video unstable, keeping your camera moving. That doesn't leave a good impact. Rather than that, have a camera stationed at a place at a stable position so that your video is stable, it's consistent, and it's look really good. Secondly, shoot your video in a good location, in a good background, such that it is pleasing to your eyes and it doesn't hurt your eyes. Often, backgrounds which are very bright hurt eye and leave off a bad impression. So please try and avoid to do that as well. The next point is that you need to ensure that your face is visible properly. Your face is your identity in the video, and you need to ensure that it is visible properly. Your expressions, the way you're speaking, everything needs to be seen so that they can connect to you. The last one is wear a decent outfit, which is a formal or a semi-formal. A formal or semi-formal is advised, but you can wear which is not formal, but do not wear anything which is too fancy, like a outfit that you would wear in a wedding. Those type of outfits are not fit for this occasion. And the most important point of all, be confident. Be confident that you can do it. Be confident that you know how to do it, and be confident that you will ace it. And we know that you will ace it. So this is a sample attire and background that I wanted to show you. So you can see the background in the attire. So the background is not too bright, but not too dark either. It's a proper pleasing background so that I can see the face properly. And as you can see, he has wore a formal dress. That's what I want you to understand. When you click a video, when you record yourself, you need to have a similar kind of a frame. So now we are going to discuss some previous year questions. These are the previous year questions that we had ourselves, and I am discussing these today so that you can get a gist of what the VBA was like last year, so that you can understand the difficulty level, the expectations of others, and everything, so that you can, when you attempt yourself, you're better prepared to attempt it. And I would advise you all to record yourself speak answering to these questions, as it would help you to understand where you stand and how much you need to improve. So the first question is, tell us something that you have done in your ninth to 12th standard which qualifies you for the IPM at IIM. This could be from your academic, extracurricular activities, sports, literary, or cultural events. So this question is asking you to elaborate on a given experience, a given anecdote about how these experiences, these activities influenced you, how they changed you, how they molded you during your 9th and 12th to be the person you are today, and why you're fit and why that person is fit for IPM. So there are some tips that I would like to give you. The first one is that include achievements which you can connect to, or which will highlight the skills that are related to managerial aspects as teamwork. Whenever you are giving a sports certificate, try to include things about your team, how you helped in teamwork. These things establish that you are a team player, and being a team player, being a team leader is a very important part of being a manager. Secondly, number of achievements need to be balanced. Not too many, not too less. But if you have a few achievements and not a lot, then a good strategy would be to elaborate on them and connect to them to the managerial world, highlighting the skills which you developed during those few activities. And those few activities will help you in making yourself a better person, in making yourself presentable, and making yourself a better suitable candidate for IPM course. The next one is that you should talk about the achievements which are from trusted or known sources. So this is a very important point, as often it is a common case that people forge certificates and all. So it is the examiners feel that if a certificate or an achievements is from a trusted or known source which can be verified, they would be tending to trust you more and would easily like you for that. And also, specifically for sports achievements, do not include any achievements which are below state level. Often state level, national level are the achievements that you should include in them, because they carry those weights with them, but the others do not carry much amount of weight with them. So the next question, it was a very unique question. Tell us about a recent book that you read which may have allowed you to explore your interest in the IPM at IIM Indore. So this question is trying to understand another aspect of why you took interest in IPM at IIM Indore through a way of a book or a character that you might have liked in a book or something like that. So some tips that I would like to give to you while you attempt this question is, pick out a book that you relate to, that you can connect to very easily, rather than a book that you read a long time ago and you aren't able to recall it properly. That will hinder your explanation, your ability to express yourself properly. And picking out a book that you connect to, that is close to your heart, will also allow you to speak directly from your heart, which is a much greater impact on the audience rather than a book that you just pick out. Also, secondly, try to pick out a book which is a bit known, which might be known to the examiners, because there's a good chance if the examiner has read the book, he might be even able to relate to you, and that might work in your favor. Let's move on to question number two. These two were the questions which are part A and part B for question number one. From these two, you have to attempt one. Now, for the next two questions, also, you have to attempt any one of the two questions. So, the first question is, if asked to write a short tweet to tell the world who you are, what would you say? So, now this is a very unique and a creative minded question, wherein it aims to find the creative side of you, wherein it aims to find how do you think your thinking process is, and how much are you aware of yourself. Important part is how much are you aware of yourself, because before judging anyone, the important part is to be aware of yourself. That is a very important part, and that's a very good aspect of being aware. And you need to know what you are, who you are, how to relate to others. That has a very good impact. Now, so this question is made to test your out of the box thinking while you're constrained with the word limit of a tweet, which is in characters and not words. So I hope that you all guys know that tweet or sending a message or a tweet on a Twitter has character limit of 280 characters. So they're trying to make you think out of the box, think creatively while being constrained by the character limit of 280 characters. And this character limit also entails the spaces. Spacing is also considered one character. So please try to write a tweet which is within 280 characters, yet a very unique one. The next one is, to which fictional character do you relate the most and why? So with this is also a question that is again asking, how do you find yourself? How do you recognize yourself? How much do you know yourself? But it is asking you with respect to a fictional character, another way of asking, another round way of asking you, how do you know? How much do you know yourself? So this question tests how much do you know yourself and how do you analyze others. So analyzing, when you see or connect to a fictional character, you analyze the character, how he is, what are its good factors, what are its good bad points, what do I like about him, what do I hate about him, and those are the factors that help you in analysis of that character. Then the next point is, try to be precise and do not beat around the bush. Being precise is the matter of importance here, because being a fictional character question, a question related to a fictional character, it can often be thought that I'll beat around the bush and they won't know. But it's not the same. Beating around the bush can easily be caught, and it's a really bad practice. It will not work at all in your favor. It will go against you, in fact. So rather than being around the bush, try to be precise, give a proper answer. Okay. The next point is, choose a character which you know. Choosing a character that you know a lot about will let you write a lot about and help you give a lot of personal anecdotes about it. Because the more you know about a character, the more you connect to it and the more common things you can find about it. Don't choose a character that you know lesser about, because and you can fantasize, because that won't play much in your favor, because a lot of characters that you might be answering to might be known to the examiners as well. So this is the last question. This was the third question that we had. It is, tell us about a place or a community that you consider your home, and tell us about how it has shaped your perspective in life and how has it affected you over the years. So tips I would give for this question is, this question is basically to get the understanding of your observation skills. How much have you observed your surroundings, the place that you have lived for a long time? How have you observed it, and how have you understood it? What have you taken from it? What have you learned from the understanding? What have you taken from the back surroundings? What have you taken in from the people around you? That's what this question is trying to ask for you. And a very basic advice would be to include every aspect of the place you live. And by aspect, I just don't mean the physical aspects, but also the emotional, the connection aspects. Like whenever you live a person, you connect with people, you talk with people, you interact, and those interactions lead to some learnings. Include those learnings. Those are a very important points, and give maximum details that you can within the stipulated amount of time. So here, these were the only questions that we had for our VBA. Three questions we had to attempt. We had a 3 minute time limit that we had to send a video at most 3 minutes. So now there's a small homework that I would like you guys to do. That is, try to shoot a video of yourselves answering these questions, or you may pick out any other questions which you like and find that they might be a good level questions for you to answer in a VBA and might come in your VBA, or similar questions might come in your VBA, and try to analyze them yourselves. There's one thing, that self evaluation is one of the best methods to correct mistakes. It is the best way to find mistakes, correct them, and rise above them. So evaluate them yourselves. You'll find very good experience of correction, and you will understand how much do you need to improve, where do you need to improve, and where do you stand. Those three things are very important for you guys at this point of time. So that's it for today, guys, and thanks a lot